Hi, everyone. Welcome to LearnTech Asia's Learn with Expert webinar series. My name is Charlie Darapak. I'm the editor-in-chief of LearnTech Asia. Thanks for joining us today. At LearnTechAsia.com, we're an independent and impartial platform telling stories of learning innovation in K through 12, tertiary, workplace learning, upskilling and reskilling in all communities in Asia. We also host conferences and online events to highlight opportunities powered by educator creativity and learning technology. Today's Learn with Expert webinar focuses on career development and the future of work. For the past year now, we've been talking about how the pandemic has disrupted learning and work as we know it. Happening at the same time is the coming of the fourth industrial revolution. With Industry 4.0 at our door, there's been concerns about the jobs of the future and a focus on continuous learning so that we stay relevant. More is also being expected from employers as their investment in training their employees becomes a major factor in retention. With the speed up of digital transformation, a global pandemic possibly causing us to rethink our purpose in work and in life, many of us may be looking to pivot our careers. LearnTech Asia is performing a professional skills building survey, which is taking the pulse of our job readiness as skill gaps are becoming more obvious. We'll put the survey link in the chat and a QR code on the screen. So here's the QR code to our professional skills building survey. You can zap that with your phone. Please take some time to answer some questions. It'll take a few moments, and the survey is anonymous. Today, we have a panel of experts to share with us their insights on career readiness, how organizations can better support their employees' career growth, and what to do when you're seeking some mentorship or career coaching. For those of you watching, please type your questions in the comment window at any time during the session, and we'll get them to the stage. Participating in today's discussion are Lanny Wijaya, who is a talent and learning specialist at LinkedIn, focused on the Indonesia market. We have Medina, who is head of career services, alumni, and corporate relations at ESSEC Business School here in Singapore. We have Wong, who is a career consultant at the National University of Singapore Institute of Systems Science. And our moderator today is Ginny Cheng, who, in addition to being the current director and head of Zillow's TechBizRev recruiting, is a career happiness coach who has guided hundreds of people's career journeys and pivots. She's an expert in helping you identify what's important to you as you look towards your next role. Ginny is a former recruiter for Facebook in Europe and has also worked for tech companies in Asia. Ginny is joining us all the way from San Francisco, where it's 1 a.m. there. Wow. Thanks, Ginny, for being with us after hours. How are you feeling? You're on mute, Ginny.
Do you know I actually have a little jar? It's called a mute jar. So every time you tell me I am on mute, I actually put $1. So far I have over $100 since 2020.
No worries.
Good morning from my time. It is 1 a.m., but I'm excited to facilitate this webinar with our panelists. I had an extra cup of coffee, so I should be okay. Thanks, Charlie. And back in November, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say back in November, LearnTech Asia, I read a really great article where you guys published citing the World Economic Forum findings, saying that everyone will need an extra 101 days of learning, and that information is exploding, yet its shelf life is decreasing. Yes. So I thought that's a perfect article, and I believe you guys will send that link out maybe afterwards. And it's perfect match for our panel today.
Thank you for citing that, and that's very, very true. All sorts of content and knowledge now. There's so much, but the shelf life is very, very short because in many ways there's a insatiable need for knowledge and learning at this time. Okay, I will hand over this webinar to you, Ginny, and you can talk a little bit more about what you do, and then I'll let you introduce the panel.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to skip talking about myself, actually, because I think the panel, it's a short session, but there are 3 panelists with great information that they want to share. So I'm going to do a really quick intro of the 3 of them all at once before they start. So Jean Wong, as Charlie mentioned, is a career consultant with the National University of Singapore. I enjoyed learning about Jean's career pivot from 5 years ago, moving from human resources to career coaching. She's a former leader in the HR arena with global multinational corporations experience within Asia Pacific region. She holds a master's degree in HR, bachelor degree in business, specialist diploma in career counseling, and advanced certificate in adult training and assessment. So as you can see, she practiced what she preaches in terms of continued learning. Next, we'll have Lanny Wijaya. Now, I'm not going to try to pronounce the full name of that business school that he's with because it's in French. So Larry, maybe you'll get a chance to do that. But Larry and I have something in common. We both have worked in the US, Europe, and in Asia. Larry has over 30 years of work experience in engineering, finance, and now in career services in various verticals, including software, media, education, to name a few. I would say, like Jean, he is likely an expert on career pivots. As the head of career services at the school, which is ranked 6th best business school in Europe as of 2020, he's responsible for managing the career curriculum, including workshops, guest speakers, student one-on-one coaching, and employer engagement across all degrees. And finally, we have Lanny Wijaya from LinkedIn. I am part of the recruiting organization, as Charlie mentioned, so we depend on LinkedIn daily. And I think you as professionals probably will rely on LinkedIn a lot to build your personal brand. Lonnie has been working in the LinkedIn Talent and Learning Solutions team, which allows organizations to plan, build, and develop their workforce using data-driven insight. I'm excited to learn more about the top emerging jobs that's happening in Southeast Asia. Lonnie has over 13 years of experience, and she focuses on talent management and recruiting for its best talent. So welcome all three. I would like to start off with Jean. Let's welcome Jean to start the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Ginny. Hi, everyone. My name is Jean. I hope you guys can hear me clearly, yeah? All right. Without further ado, can we have the slides up? Okay. All right. Yeah, as mentioned, I'm from NUS ISS, and we all know NUS is really huge. You know, all in all, we have 17 faculties and schools, and out of which every semester we run more than 4,000 modules. If we go on to the next slide, all right, I will touch on more about NUS ISS. We were established in 1981. NUSIS developed digital talents for the industry through our graduate program, our professional development program. We also offer consultancy, applied research, and career services. If you look at the middle, that's where our graduate program is. We offer both master's and graduate program. The word stackable means our certification courses and modular courses can be stacked towards our master's and graduate program. Now, each year we have more than 400 students attending our postgrad programs, both full-time and part-time. And majority, of course, of our students are local, but we do have a good mix from North Asia like China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and India. In Southeast Asia as well, we have students from Malaysia, from Vietnam, from Myanmar. And recently, we have students as far from Switzerland and Canada joining us in our graduate program as well. We also offer shorter courses. We call the EEP, the Executive Education Program, to the working professionals. They're either working or in transition, at risk, coming just for upskilling and reskilling. And for these EEPs, we have more than 8,000 professionals coming in every year. And we run more than 120 courses in 8 different broad categories. The next slide will tell you more about our NUS programs and courses. As you can see, we have 4 different master's programs. We have our business analytics that prepare students for data scientists. We have artificial intelligence course, which prepares students for AI, for intelligent system specialists, in which they can work in areas like robotics, autonomous vehicles, intelligent sensing systems, and even IoT. Our software courses, okay, will prepare our students for solution architect, capable of architecting and designing systems. We also have a digital leadership program, which is more for the C-suite. Now, this program is designed to prepare leaders to lead and to execute digitalization and transformation for their organization. We also run our graduate diploma in system analysis. Now, this is popular for those who have a non-IT basic degree, but they want to move into the IT space. So they come to us for this 1-year intensive program. As for our executive education program, we run 8 different broad areas covering the emerging technologies. If you go to the next slide, you will see there's like quite a number of courses. Not to scare you, we have more than 120 courses covering different areas. Now, all these courses are bite-sized nature, ranging from a day to 2 weeks. Our EEP courses offer in-demand skills and knowledge, and they're designed and developed by our teaching staff with more than 20 years of industry experience. So our students can gain all the practical insights and applications to stay ahead in this competitive ICT landscape. I'm also very excited to inform all of you that ISS is moving into blended learning. Now, this makes it easier for learners from both within Singapore and outside Singapore to attend our courses. I will touch on career services on the next slide. All right. Now, we provide a suite of career services to all our students to give them a good head start in their careers. Now, on the left, you can see that we're very much engaged with our students and employers. We're the link between the both of them. We provide career advisory and coaching. We provide personal coaching to our students to discuss their career goals, to strategize the job search, to craft effective technical CVs, and to prepare students for interviews. We do talks, workshops, and networking events. Now, this would include like elevated pitch, interview techniques, talks on emerging technologies. We even provide networking sessions with our employers, and we could provide career talks and recruitment fairs as well. Now, as far as job placement is concerned, we assist our students for internship and job placement by referring suitable opportunities from the employers that we closely engage with. And last but not least, we also have the professional conversion program, which is more for the mid-careers who want to transit into the tech space. And this program is only applicable to Singaporeans and Singapore PRs. And right now we have 3 pathways. We have the full stack developer course, we have the data analyst course, and we have the business analyst course, which is a lighter version of data analyst. The next slide. And now we're going to talk about the emerging skills. According to the Future of Jobs Report 2020, now you can see all these are the top skills in the next 5 years. As you can see, I've highlighted the 2 skills in red to emphasize the importance of these 2 skills. Now, I believe that in this days and age, to stay relevant, we need to be an active learner and we need to be tech savvy. The next slide will show us how do we stay relevant. We all know that COVID pandemic is a big game changer and has really sped up the digital transformation faster than we can imagine. Now, every aspect of our lives is becoming more closely linked with technology, isn't it? When we make payment these days, we don't use cash anymore. This Grab Pay, Google Pay, and stuff like that. Now, according to the same report again, it has indicated that redundant roles will decline. So what kind of jobs will be affected? I think a lot of you would have known that bank tellers, telemarketers, clerks, secretaries, bookkeepers, postal service, clerks or postmen, even Grab drivers, bill collectors. All these jobs will decline. So what are the emerging professions, the in-demand jobs? Unfortunately or unfortunately, they are tech-related. I'm talking about the top jobs, okay? Of course, there are other jobs that are not so tech, but they're also in demand. But basically, what the market is looking right now is at AI specialists, AI developers, AI engineers, scientists, robotics engineer, full stack developer, full stack engineer, front end, back end, DevOps engineer, data scientist, data engineer. So while 85 million jobs may be displaced, we have 97 million new roles emerging. But these new roles are more adapted around humans, machines, and algorithms. What does it say? It indicates that we need to be tech savvy to do our job well. So the next slide, I'm going to talk about how companies are doing in this midst of transformation. So what are companies doing to ensure their staff are relevant in this digital age? Now, first of all, they need to build a strong learning culture. They need to set up a company-wide training and provide modular bite-sized courses to make it easier for staff to chew so that they can learn anytime and anywhere. Now, in ISS, we are also seeing more employers coming to us to work with them on their training programs. Now, employers need to constantly upskill and reskill to ensure their staff skills are relevant. Employees have to redesign the jobs to ensure the jobs are relevant as well. Now, I have the opportunity to speak with some companies as they're going through the transformation process. Now, employees are very concerned about some of the staff not digital ready as they plan to progressively redesign the jobs. Now, one company I spoke to intend to upskill the account manager with design thinking and digital product skills. Another company I spoke with wanted to introduce a data literacy program to ensure their staff are data literate and savvy. One even want to include introduction of AI, as part of their learning journey. So these days, you can see all kinds of jobs, all the corporate roles need to have the digital competency. The next slide, let's talk about how to stay relevant for the non-techies. We are all the non-techies, so-called in the corporate function. So who are these non-techies? They could be in the marketing, in sales, in business analysts, or in HR. Now, in today's environment, all these jobs are no longer the same as what we have seen in the past. These roles have been redesigned and they're all embedded with data and digital skill set to ensure they are competent in this digital age. Now, in other words, all these corporate roles need to analyze digital information, judging its relevance and purpose. They need to communicate in digital environment, share resources, link with others, and collaborate through digital tools across various networks. They need to understand how to use the web browser, the search engine, email, and text intelligently. They need to evaluate online resources for accuracy and trustworthiness. And of course, they need to be cyber smart. All right, let's go to the next slide. And what about the non-techies like us, like some of us, who wants to go into the tech space? Is it possible? We know all the in-demand jobs, they're all tech, they're all very techy. But can those without any tech training and experience, can they do the tech roles? Now, the following are some of the guidelines that we normally share with our students. We reckon that people with STEM background normally are trained in such a way that make it relatively easier for them to pick up the tech skills. They have the better capacity to learn the techie stuff. Now, but having said that, I have seen some exceptions. I've seen art students, accounting students, even business students. learn coding, and eventually work as software developer or data analyst. So besides our training, interests and passions are very important too. So what kind of in-demand jobs can they move into? Well, in today's environment, the in-demand jobs are the data analysts, the software developers, and even the cybersecurity engineers. But before you really jump into it, I would suggest you do some online courses. You know, we have Coursera, EDX, Udemy, etc. Go on and try all these courses. If you find the learning easy and pleasurable, and even clear the online assessment, then tech may be something that you can consider. You can even sign up for more serious courses with the professional training providers to obtain proper professional certification to facilitate your job search. Yeah. Alternatively, you can consider moving into the tech-like roles, which are not so demanding in terms of tech skill set. Some of these tech-like roles would include like digital marketer, e-commerce, business analyst, digital sales, digital product manager, etc. All right, last but not least, this is my last slide. I always believe in getting prepared by upskilling or reskilling yourself first rather than waiting for opportunity. That means you wait for companies to hire you and then to train you. Because opportunity does not wait for people. We need to be ready, with our digital skill set and seize the opportunity when it arrives. That's all I have. With that, I thank you. The next slide will show my email address. So for those of you who would like to have any questions, please feel free to email me after this presentation or after this event. With that, I thank you, all of you, for your attention.
Thank you, Jean. First of all, it was great to see all the extensive career services that support your school population. I have not been in school for a while, so I kind of wish my school had most of that. And also your insights on soft skills like resilience and being an active learner really resonated with me, because that's not always the first skills people interview for. So thank you very much. Larry, you are up next. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Yes,
all right.
I am. Slides, please. Slides. Oh, there we go. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Larry Medina. As was mentioned previously, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it a bit here as well. So this is actually my third career. So originally I started off in engineering a long time ago, chemical engineering. Went back to school for a postgraduate degree and moved into finance, accounting, tax, treasury, mostly with technology companies for quite a number of years. And then about 9 years ago, I moved into student services and career services, mostly working with postgraduate students. So students that have a little bit of work experience and they could be making a pivot, or they could be trying to accelerate their current direction that they're going with their career. Currently, I'm with ESSEC Business School. So the real name is very long, but we shorten it to the acronym of ESSEC. It's a French business school, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it in the next slide, please. So in Singapore, may not be very well known. In France, it started in 1907, so quite an established business school. Started by Jesuit priests originally, so it's still a nonprofit organization today, with a mission to do business for good, and really take that to heart and really think about things like diversity, sustainability is really part of the DNA of ESSEC Business School. Towards the right side of the screen, in 2005, ESSEC opened its first international campus in Singapore, first at the National Library in Singapore, and then the campus that we're currently in, our own campus, was in 2015. So we're very much part of the education scene in Singapore now today. Since then, we've opened up a campus in Rabat in Morocco as well, so we're now on 3 continents. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a bit more about our campus here in Singapore. And the reason I like to show this slide is because we're at One North area in Singapore, and we're really in the hub of a lot of technology companies. We're in the area where Razer and Grab are building their new headquarters and where a lot of the startups are as well. So Jean talked a lot about technology. Obviously, one of our big focuses is managing digital disruption and the skills required for that. But our other two areas of focus are also areas where there are job growth. So sustainability is a huge initiative with ESSEC, and embedding that in each of our programs, whether it's our bachelor program or our master level programs, or even some of our executive education. And then the other is entrepreneurship. And so there's clearly a lot of momentum and a lot of interest in entrepreneurship now, and the skills related to that as well. So tech underlies almost everything today, but also sustainability and entrepreneurship are areas to think about for career pivots. Next slide, please. Okay, just a bit, because people really don't know ESSEC in Asia Pacific. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but just to show that the school is fairly well established within the various ranking bodies. I'm not going to go through all the degree programs, but one I want to point out is we have a master in digital marketing that is getting a lot of interest and attention nowadays, because again, if you think about growth areas for jobs and new skill sets, obviously everything digital is getting a lot of attention. And really, obviously, marketing has moved, I wouldn't say exclusively online, but a lot of it is now digital. And so that's one example of where we're innovating new degree programs to really try to meet the needs of industry, so our corporate partners, but also for you and for students and for adult learners to really pick up new skills that will help them pivot into an area of growth. Next slide, please. Okay, international. So very international school. You can see all of the flags of where our students are from. And I would also say a skill that's really important nowadays is both networking, but also cultural understanding as well. So we certainly see interest in students that have this diverse language and cultural background, allowing them to basically communicate across multiple markets. And so for some of the corporate functions, it is an important experience and set of skills that might help you in the future. Next slide, please. Okay, a bit about career services. And so, earlier Ginny said about wishing that she had career services when she was going through school. And I actually feel the same. Obviously, I graduated quite a number of years ago, but career services has developed a lot, especially in Singapore over the last 20 years. So we offer a full suite of services for students. And the first part is professional career talks. And what we're trying to do with exposure, and we also do assessments with students, is two things. One is, as you think about what you want to do in the future and what direction you want to go, it's always important to understand your skills, your motivators, and your interests. And so we all talk a lot about skills, but also think about what areas motivate you, what things motivate you, and what are your areas of interest. And so it could be, yes, tech is a great boom area for you, but you're really interested more in sustainability, right? And so there's growth in a lot of areas. The job market is very dynamic, but it's important to understand yourself. And so we try to expose students to understand themselves through assessments, to see a wide variety of guest speakers, because sometimes you see a speaker from a company or an industry that you don't know very well, and it sparks an interest, a flame within you to maybe learn more and maybe head in a different direction. At the heart of it, it's really one-on-one coaching. And so even for adult learners that are trying to figure out which direction they should go, it's always really important, if you can, to find a career coach and have a conversation and really talk through who you are, what you'd like to do, what the options are, what are your skill sets, do a skill set inventory for yourself. What are the skills that are required in the job place? Is there a match? Is there a gap? And so those one-on-one conversations are really important. The rest of this is really about training, so workshops. Once you understand yourself, your skill gaps, what the market looks like, how to network, it's about how do you close those gaps? How do you come up with tactical tools such as CVs, LinkedIn profiles, networking strategies, and et cetera. So really putting the whole package together to go out there. Once you close the skill gap, basically to go out there and really find a role that excites you. Next slide, please. Okay, a bit about hiring trends. So I have just a couple slides on this, and then I'll pass the baton. From a business perspective, obviously, digitization is really important, and what we are seeing is more hybrid roles, right? So, typically the analyst role, so analyzing reports or financial statements, et cetera, combining that now with maybe a bit of programming and a bit of automation of gathering data, for example. So more and more we see these hybrid roles. A lot of people interested in business education or business degrees may not be techies, but what we say, we talk about the T-shaped, where you have business acumen and business understanding, but understand the tech aspects, speak the language, be able to communicate to somebody that may be a programmer to get what you like, right? And so when we talk about managing digital or managing digital disruption, yes, of course, learning a bit of programming is always going to be helpful. But what's really helpful if you're managing across a digital role, or all roles are becoming digital, is understanding what the technology will do. How does it disrupt your business model? How do you speak the language? How do you get what you need from a technical organization that may be supporting you in your business role, be it marketing, operations, finance, human resources? And so these blended roles are here to stay. These hybrid roles are here to stay. And so even in the business space, it's really important to understand that and pick up enough of the tech skills to make you very employable in the future. Next slide, please. Okay, so in Singapore, obviously, I've talked about data and digital already, and technology. The other two, just to wrap up, are themes that I've already talked a bit about, but really startup is, and entrepreneurship is a large growth area. Being at Launchpad, close to Launchpad at One North, seeing the energy and the buzz. Obviously, COVID has had some impact around that, but it will bounce back. And some of the startups are actually thriving in this COVID environment, right? But startups are a good way to look at potentially doing something different if you have the right skills. Taking on potentially broader role in a smaller company is always a way to start to pivot your career. And there really is a growth in jobs in this particular area. Language is one that I mentioned before. Again, particularly in Singapore, because there's still a lot of regional companies that are here, and even startups that are focused on the region. Having a diverse language skill sets to go along with your Python and other programming languages, but it's also helpful to have Southeast Asia language capabilities. All languages are good, because sometimes we see companies that need Japanese and Korean languages as well, but Southeast languages are definitely in demand right now to go along with your tech skills as well. That's it for me. Now I'd like to pass it back over. Oh, my final slide, sorry, contact us. I apologize, I didn't put my personal contact data here, but I'm extremely active on LinkedIn, and you can always find me, Larry Medina, ESSEC. You will find me on LinkedIn. I'm always open to connecting. And then if you have a question about anything that I presented here today, you can, once you connect with me, and I will accept your connection almost always, then you can drop me a message and I can follow up with an answer to your question. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. I really was impressed with the diversity of students and alumni I can imagine how it provides great opportunities to collaborate with people from all over the world. Yes. And as you mentioned, the importance of like the networking culture and really developing those skills, interglobal skills is great. And I am also a fan of hybrid roles or skill set, because it means you will be in higher demand of your transferable skills for the company and beyond. So that is great. Well, next, I'm going to be passing, as Larry said, baton to Lonnie, our third and final panelist. I'm going to assume everyone that's listening here already has a LinkedIn profile as your brand. So this is the minimum, as Lonnie would say. So Lonnie, why don't you go ahead?
Sure, Jean. Sure, Ginny. Very nice to meet all of you here. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'll make sure that I can deliver the same important messages as Jean and Larry. Really interesting indeed, especially during this time that there's so many opportunities rise up because of digitalizations. I think Jean mentioned about more than 90 million new jobs will be created, and the rising of hybrid roles and workforce. Yeah. So let me share my screen. All right. So can you see my screen? I hope. All right, so my name is Lanny Wijaya, as introduced. So I actually been working at LinkedIn for 6.5 years, and previously I was a recruiter for about 7 years. I was born in Jakarta, and I moved to Singapore when I was 11 years old. So pretty much Singaporean, and I do have passions in people. So I help at LinkedIn. I help organizations and professionals so they can find the best career for professionals, so they can develop and find the best careers, and for companies for them to find the best talent using LinkedIn insights and tools. All right. So first of all, I always want to share with you LinkedIn vision and mission. So our vision is to create economic opportunity for every member in the global workforce. So in a sense that I want to help every one of us here to connect with each other so you can be productive and successful. That is actually ingrained in me as well. That's why I feel that this company has, giving me the purpose in life, if you can say it. So a little bit more about LinkedIn. So as you know, we are the largest social media platform in the world for professional, of course. So in a way that we have empowered around 722 million members globally. Actually, this is last month data. This month I just got it. It's actually up to 740 million professional in the world. So they could find the organizations that they would like to join. So as a LinkedIn sense, we are actually the #1 platform to map the economic of the world, right? So in a sense that we want to marry the professionals of the world with the companies of the world, right? So in a sense that LinkedIn is a data platform, right? So we are handling like billions of data points every second, and we are able to classify different type of skills, up to 36,000 different skills. So this is from our data, we see that around 15 billion skills that listed on LinkedIn platform, and we categorize it into 36,000 different skills. So these skills actually helping companies, helping organizations, helping policymakers or government to see the patterns, and if there is any trends in terms of in-demand skills and emerging skills that popping up during the historical time, so they can use this data and trends and patterns to prepare for their workforce. Okay, so we can also know that there's some, multiple transformations accelerating in the future of work. Right, so first is digital transformations, right? So as I mentioned with Jean and Larry, we use more technology these days, right? So therefore, a lot of companies are investing in AI, automations, data, to help giving the best products and services to their clients and to the consumers. The second one is the workforce transformations, right? We see a lot of different roles that being created because of the digital transformations that being implemented in their workforce. So a lot of companies are now investing their L&D initiatives to make sure that they could prepare their employees for the future of work in terms of skills, right? So what is the relevant skills that in demand? What is the skills that's needed? Of course, you've already heard about the informations by Jean and Larry. Digital skills is number one, and it's actually reflected in LinkedIn data as well. And the last one will be the workforce transformations, since we've been in this situation, pandemic situations, whereby we were actually being forced last year that we have to work from home. So it actually, creating a new trends that a lot of people right now are comfortable working from home or adjusting to it, right? So the workforce transformations will be more into hybrid workforce, or we call it flexi work. So it's not only hybrid roles, but the way that we work, right? So, I'm in the office right now. So this is the first day that I went to the office since 2021. And to be honest, I'm very grateful that we don't need to, it's not a must for us to come to the office. So the company is already giving us the flexibility to manage our times. Okay, and the skills professionals possesses today are not the skills that they will need in the future, right? So it does also means that a lot of whatever that we learn today may not be relevant in the next 2 years, right? So the data from the economists from 2018 already predicted that 47% of jobs are at risk of being automated within the next 20 years, right? So it's happening really, really fast. And World Economic Forum report Future of Jobs that Jean mentioned earlier, also mentioning that by next year, the core skill that we know that we have may need to change, right? So it's very imperative that we have to take care of and take control of our development and take control of our career trajectory. So this is based on LinkedIn data. So you've heard about the data from World Economic Forum, from Jean, but it's actually correlating from what they predicted, right? During this period, I think this data is from last year, April to October, and then we compare it to 2019. Right, so 2020, April, October, and 2019, and we see these top 15 roles emerging in across Southeast Asia. Right, so again, digital transformations needs people to access data. So of course, the top four roles are very technical. And of course, because of this pandemic, a lot of people goes to online. A lot of organizations, right, e-commerce rising, and from traditional business, they go online because they need to sustain and survive. So a lot of people are looking for digital content specialists, digital marketing specialists, e-commerce, and also PR to make sure that they could build their brand well digitally. Right. Then obviously the most important industry in healthcare, supply chains, and educations is key indications that this is the new trends. Okay, so according to our data as well, LinkedIn data, we see like billions, millions of data points and members profiles. We see members who are equipped with digital skills at even basic level will have a edge in finding employment opportunities, right? I think Jin already explained what are the skills that is considered basic, right? And demand is really high for employees with tech skills such as specialized engineers, data analysts, digital marketing specialists, and e-commerce skills. And also traditional roles and business will continue to evolve as a result of COVID-19, like Larry also mentioned, the hybrid roles. All right, so then how we can understand each one of us behavior in terms of learning, right? So learning for everyone is different, right? Because we are born differently, right? Some people like it social, some people like more collaborative. So based on our survey data as well, so I'm considered millennials. So definitely we prefer to share if we are actually learning something. So it's kind of like true that how we can actually help each other as a community to support each other and encourage each other to always be learning mindset. Okay, and in terms of APAC data as well, we see the influx of people are learning, and mostly are students and career starters, because those are the people that facing barriers in terms of finding new jobs and learning new skills. They're the one that have motivations to get the right job after graduations, and so on and so forth. So this is one of the surprise, not really surprising, but really the data that we can relate to. Okay, and based on our data, again, LinkedIn data, learners, members who put certifications on their members who put certifications in their LinkedIn profiles having 18% stronger network, and also better discoverability and faster time to get hired, 19% more. So definitely is encouraging us to put more certifications, like Jean said, try it online first. There's a lot of platform for you to get certifications, including LinkedIn Learning, and also Coursera, Udemy, and so on and so forth. Okay, so just a little bit tips about building your LinkedIn profile. So make sure that you're authentic, use a 1% tone, and tell your career's interests and aspirations. So you don't need to put point form in your about, but tell more about your story, your passions, and your purpose. What do you want to aspire to be? No need to be too long, just a short and sweet will do. And do add rich media to add color to your profile. Like if you have a video or YouTube link that you want to share, you can as well do that. And actually, this is the new trend that we see. A lot of people have video resume, we call it, So you can actually record like a minute video of yourself, and then you can upload it on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so another super big tips is do not treat your LinkedIn profile as your CV or resume, because they are two different things, right? So LinkedIn profiles is your digital representations of your portfolio, your life, So definitely update it as you go, and whereas your CV or resume, you only update it on when you looking for jobs, right? So make sure that you don't mix the two, and be authentic. Right? So don't pretend to be who you are not. So making sure that whatever that you put on LinkedIn is your true achievement and your true work. Okay, so again, I just want to give you numbers, the data, right? So there's so many people that looking for jobs right now. So there are every single week we see about 34 million job seekers globally, right? So how can you stand out, amongst these millions of people? Of course, by having LinkedIn profile that is really authentic and full. You need to complete your profile, and also also having a relevant skills, right? That is really key. So there's there's some tips here to get the most out of LinkedIn. So we see from the back end as well, from the data, people who apply the job 10 minutes after the job being posted is 4 times more likely to get interview. But obviously your profile needs to match, with the job description. And secondly, people who has LinkedIn learning certification or any certifications is actually 9% more likely to get hired. And last but not least is we see that applicants who are having connections, to the people who's working in the target company actually have 4 times more likely to get a job, right? Because they could, we call it internal referrals. So connection networking is really important, and you can, connect it with on LinkedIn. Okay, so this is a couple of two last slides from me, and LinkedIn is dedicated to help members globally to during this pandemic to find their dream job. So we opened a free learning platform and courses together with Microsoft and GitHub. So if you're looking for skills to find a job, digital fluency and soft skills, diversity and inclusion, belonging, go to opportunity.linkedin.com and you can have it for free until the end of this year. Okay, thank you. So with that, over to you, Ginny.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm always amazed how much data LinkedIn has of our behaviors and how we move. So it's just amazing. I actually didn't know that about applying to a job within the first 10 minutes after a LinkedIn notification can increase your chances up to 4 times. I think that's amazing. My current company also allows many parts of our businesses, including mine, to be remote completely permanently. So that's kind of maybe in some places, some companies are doing that. Okay, so it looks like we have about 8 minutes till the end of this. At this time, I'm seeing some comments and questions, so I'm going to start there. Is it okay if we bring all the speakers up on the screen? Awesome. Okay, great. I'm going to kind of go a little random here, but if others have, supplemental information for the same question, please just feel free to jump in. So the first one actually is a call out for Jean. As a career advisor, how do you prepare a student's career readiness?
Okay, that's a good question. You guys can hear me, yeah? Just want to test it. Okay, yes. We typically have various programs, set up for our students, plan for our students, right from the beginning when they join us in course during the semesters as well. We arrange various workshops, like resume writing, cover letter writing, interview skills, elevator pitch to brush up their skills on job hunt. We also conduct other sessions like LinkedIn. Yes, we do. Yeah, this is a pretty good network. Yeah, and communication, excuse me, and communication skills. On top of this, we do one-on-one coaching to prepare them on the job search. We do mock interview with them. We help them to to see if there's any difficult questions, that we can help them, on how to answer, how to tackle those questions. During the year, we also conduct networking events, creating opportunities for our students to mingle with our employers. We conduct talks, on the latest trend, so that our students is very well aware of what's happening, out there. So more importantly, we also refer suitable opportunities to them nearing to graduation. And honestly, our job is not done till they are gainfully employed. So yeah, that's our journey with them.
Well, could I have a follow-up question to either, I guess, Jean or Larry? Because we talk about career coaching a lot. And, you know, what if people don't really, I mean, I guess when you're in school, you have the access to a career coach or career counseling. What would you recommend for people that are out of school, and how do they find the best career coaches?
Do you want me to go, Jean?
Yeah, sure. You go first.
Yeah, so it is a great question. And I think there's a lot of components to that too. So I think if you're in Singapore, there's a government initiative with WSG, Workforce Singapore, where there are coaches available, but I know that's not true in every country. So I think that if you don't have a formalized system of coaching available where you are, there usually there's two options, right? There's private for-hire coaches usually available in most major cities that you can look for. It's always good if maybe somebody can recommend one to you. So word of mouth is really important. There are online platforms for this as well. I think LinkedIn has some coaching capabilities as well. Another competitor is eVisor. Sorry to mention that, but yeah. But you know, there are online solutions where you can find coaches that can help you with your career pivot.
Great. Why don't we move, I guess, the next question.
I think I would like to. Sorry,
yes, please go ahead.
Sorry, I'm very passionate over this
Go
topic.
ahead, please. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, I do agree with Larry. Yeah, in Singapore, I think people here are very lucky that you know, career coaching is available everywhere. Whether you're in schools or you're out of schools, there are a lot of career centers situated island-wide, you know, for them to tap on. But if you're really totally new to this, yeah, you can engage and you know, outside coach to help you, to guide you. But that perhaps may cost you some money. But you can actually DIY. Really, you can understand. You know, you go online, you do a simple personality test. You know, there are many out. You know, on the web. You know, they have Holland, Isaac code. You have DISC, you have Myers-Briggs. You just, you know, test out what kind of person you are. Try to find out more about your person. You look at your own strengths and weaknesses, your career interests. And then you research, because normally after the test, they will tell you what are the likely jobs that you are most suitable for. Of course, you don't treat it like a Bible. I mean, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, but it's a good indication. Then you identify, for those who are working, identify those transferable skills that you have, your aptitude, your capacity to learn, especially if you're mid-career. And then you reason out yourself, what are the more suitable roles? Now you stay relevant as well. You know what's out there, what kind of skill set. You try to upskill, reskill yourself. You attend career talks. You know, join a good platform like what LearnTech has provided. You know, has provided you. You know, this opportunity to listen to, you know, speakers, and you be, you know, a lifelong learner. You keep continuing to upskill and reskill. Build your network. Learn from each other, because it's always good to learn from the, you know, the like-minded people. So that's why, you know, perhaps you can do your own, and you eventually you get somewhere. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not taking too much time. Yeah.
No worries. I would just do a plug for actually attending more of these type of free events where you can actually learn from the experts and the career coaches. Yeah. So next one, if we don't mind, there's a question for Lonnie, which is, what are the main challenges that companies face in managing the employees and the skills gap? How receptive companies are to offering workplace learning?
Yeah, thank you, Jean, for the questions. So let me answer the second one. Yeah, so definitely very receptive, right? So most of us, especially companies that I work with, they're asking about what are the opportunities or options, right? So they can empower their employees, all of them, to have a learning mindset, to have learning agility, and to create their learning culture in the company. And this is really important, because without us as an individual to to take control of ourselves, of our career. There's no one else, right? And learning, it starts by creating a good habit. And as a human being, habit doesn't create that overnight, right? So it has to be slowly building and get the normal habit. I'm sure that Ginny, you're the coach yourself. I'm sure you know how to build a good habit there, right? So the challenge that goes to my answer of the challenges, right? So it's actually giving how to provide this good habit to their employees, because human beings are very reluctant to change, in a sense, and it's harder to change rather not to change. So how they're empowering, influencing the managers, and it's always come from the top, right? So leadership, the C-levels needs to take control of their learning first, and lead their managers, and the managers will lead their team. And it's not saying that, okay, tomorrow we all gonna be building this learning culture, and then immediate results expected. No, we can't. They can't actually expecting that. So I guess definitely is one step at a time, and it's a journey. Learning is actually a journey. And for us and for me, I actually advises them on the relevant skills for the specific functions, so they could be very focused, since we don't have a lot of time, right? So what are the skills that's really relevant for the company growth and for their personal growth as well?
Yeah, and the truth is, if companies are actually creating these environments for workplace learning, the important thing is the students need to come. Like, people need to own that accountability and actually take advantage of those. So it is always so fun. Like, time flies when you're learning so much. And we are at time, actually. Well, it's 2 a.m. for me, so I guess it's definitely a time for me. Charlie, did you wanted to jump on and close the session for us?
Yeah, so yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ginny, Jean, Larry, and Lanny for your presentations and this discussion. And yes, it is almost 2 a.m. for Ginny. Thank you so much for being here. You all brought perspectives from learning institutions, recruitment, and coaching, so that our audience of learners, educators, and HR professionals can better understand what's happening now with career development and what we should be looking at in terms of skills needed for the future of work and the multiple transformations that are happening. And you've also presented our audience with options and opportunities in learning to accelerate one's career or even pivot. It inspires me that Larry is on his 3rd career, so that gives me some hope. And also the importance of knowing ourselves, what motivates us, and the importance of making connections and embracing change. So thank you very much. We had a great audience turnout today. Thanks for your questions, which drove the conversation. So that wraps up LearnTech Asia's Learn with Expert webinar on career development. I'd like to thank my LearnTech Asia colleagues, Salfang, Renji, and Shihui, who are backstage and working hard to make sure these sessions happen. And for any of you who missed any of the session, we'll be posting a video of this discussion on learntechasia.com. I'm going to put the survey on the screen one more time. We are doing a professional skills building survey, which is taking the pulse of our job readiness as skill gaps become more apparent now. My name is Charlie Darapak, the editor-in-chief of LearnTech Asia. See you all next time. Thanks again.
Bye.
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 Bye.